Commander Thrix of the Galactic Military Academy watched the training arena with 4 of his 6 eyes. The remaining pair focused on the biometric readings displayed on his console. The human cadet, Thomas Reed, moved with a fluidity that seemed impossible for a species from a high-gravity death world. "This is the 4th simulation he's completed today," Sub-Commander Vallis noted, her crest flaring in distress. "The human shows no signs of fatigue." "Deathworlders," Thrix clicked his mandibles dismissively. "Their endurance is their only advantage. The Keldor exchange program will humble him with superior tactics." The Keldor were renowned across the galaxy for their strategic thinking, having won the last 3 intersystem war games. Their warrior culture dated back millennia, and their tactical doctrines formed the basis of the Academy's curriculum. Reed had been selected as the first human to participate in the week-long cultural exchange with the Keldor elite. Most species sent their brightest military minds, but humanity, still newcomers to the galactic stage, had sent a second-year cadet. A diplomatic mistake, many had whispered. On the exchange program's first day, High Tactician Noor of the Bow, Keldor greeted the assembled aliens with practiced formality. 23 representatives from across the galaxy stood at attention. Thomas Reed towered over most of them, his posture relaxed despite the heightened gravity settings that accommodated the Keldor physiology. "Your species evolved on worlds of peace and harmony," Noor began, pacing before them. "Ours formed amid constant conflict. You have much to learn." Reed raised his hand. "Human," Noor acknowledged with slight annoyance. "With respect, High Tactician, Earth wasn't particularly peaceful. Our history is defined by conflict." Noor's facial tendrils twitched. "Yet you lack the genetic memory of warfare that the Keldor possess." "True," Reed nodded. "We rely on written records and practical experience." Noor dismissed the comment and continued outlining the week's schedule. The exchange participants would study Keldor battle tactics, engage in simulations, and ultimately face their instructors in a final assessment. By the 3rd day, the Keldor tactical staff began to notice something unusual. While most participants struggled with the complex strategic principles, Reed seemed to absorb them with unsettling speed. "He adapts too quickly," Instructor Krell noted during the staff meeting. He identified the weakness in the pincer formation, after seeing it only twice. "The human comes from a death world," Noor reminded them. "Their minds process threats rapidly. It's merely survival instinct, not true understanding." Yet when Reed demonstrated a modified version of the ancient Keldor sundering maneuver during the afternoon session, improving its effectiveness by 37%, the tactical staff fell silent. That evening, Reed requested access to the historical battle archives, a courtesy typically extended to all exchange participants. The request was granted without much thought. On the 5th day, during a complex battlefield simulation, Reed did something that made the observing Keldor tacticians freeze in horror. Rather than employing the prescribed countermeasures against a standard Keldor assault pattern, he implemented a hybrid strategy that merged 3 different defensive doctrines, creating vulnerabilities where none should exist. Then, he exploited those vulnerabilities himself. "He's using our own tactics against us," whispered Krell, "but configured in ways we never considered." Noor's usually impassive face showed concern. "He spent only 4 days studying our methods. How is this possible?" "Humans fought each other for thousands of years," Reed explained later when questioned. "We've explored countless approaches to warfare through necessity. When you've faced other humans as adversaries, you learn to think differently." The final day of the exchange culminated in a tactical challenge. Each participant would face a Keldor master in a simulated engagement with equal forces. Most performed admirably but ultimately failed. When Reed's turn came, the assembled Keldor officers watched with newfound attention. Reed was paired against Noor himself. The simulation began. What followed wasn't merely a demonstration of technical proficiency. It was a complete deconstruction of Keldor military doctrine. Reed employed strategies that were simultaneously familiar and alien, using the Keldor's own tactical principles, but stripped of their cultural assumptions, and rebuilt with brutal efficiency. The simulation ended in 26 minutes, Reed had achieved a decisive victory. Silence filled the command center. How? Noor finally asked, mandibles clicking rapidly. How did you develop this understanding in a single week? Reed looked genuinely confused. Your tactics are brilliant, but are predictable once you understand the underlying philosophy. You fight like immortals with unlimited time. Humans fight like we might die at any moment, because historically we often did. 2 days after the exchange program concluded, an emergency council of Keldor military leadership convened. The recordings of Reed's simulations played on loop as analysts pointed out innovations that undermined centuries of tactical doctrine. A single human cadet, General Vrax stated, has identified fundamental flaws in strategies we've relied upon for generations. If this represents the average human tactical thinking. He's not average, Commander Thrix interrupted, having been summoned to provide context. But neither is he exceptional by human standards. Their military academies produce thousands like him every year. The Keldor generals exchanged troubled glances. Perhaps, Vrax said carefully, we should reconsider our assessment of humanity's potential contribution to the Galactic Defense Initiative. Within a month, human tactical advisors were quietly embedded in Keldor military units. Within a year, joint human-Keldor exercises became the foundation for a new tactical doctrine that spread across the galactic military community. And Thomas Reed? He graduated with honors, never quite understanding why his exchange evaluation simply read, "Perspective changes everything."